Something I shared on the daily financial news is something that I'm really starting to get some momentum and energy behind, and that is just the fact that getting wealthy is easy. It's actually a three-step process. I'm going to share those steps with Anna in total and then let her react, poke holes, ask questions. You ready, Anna?
I'm ready.
So, step one is you must create dry powder. Dry powder, simply said, is disposable income, money that's left over after paying your bills or your lifestyle, savings, whatever you want to call that. You must increase your dry powder. Now, I believe you can do that one of two ways. You can do that the way that Olivia and I did, which was take a look at needs and wants and whack your expenses. We lowered ours
Yes.
50% over a year. Two, you could look at a way to increase your income, which, you could create side hustles. One of my weekly guests, Casey, she created an Etsy store. Another one of my experts plays video games and sold tchotchkes. You could house hack. You could take your largest expense, lower that like you did. There's lots of ways. But at the end of the day, step one to getting wealthy is you must sacrifice, make hard choices, and create dry powder. Step two, you must become elite at something. Now, I chose investment properties. More specifically, I created a buy box that was very, very tight and looked at one area for 3 years. I knew that footprint better than anyone else. But let's be frank, it doesn't have to be single family homes in 93703 between 12 and 1500 square feet, 3 or 4 bedroom, 2 bath. It doesn't have to be that for you. It can be whatever it is. Classic cars, stocks, wines, trading cards, Pokemon. I don't care what it is, but become elite at something. When you are elite at something, you can identify value when other people who are not elite sell something at a discount. You can create money. You can create more. You're investing. You're having your dry powder work for you. And then finally, time. You need a decade.
Mhm.
Most people, if they do step one, step two, can do that in a decade. You can do the income snowball, which basically means you don't re-leverage your capital, but because you have fixed rate debt, rents go up, you're increasing every year. You could do some cash out refis or 1031s and actually have none of your own money in deals at the end of the 10 years, like I have done. So that's it. Getting wealthy on is 3 steps: create dry powder, become elite, and time. What do you think?
Love it. I always say live below your means while you work to expand your means. I mean, that's like the number one thing. And it was your number one thing too, right? So if you're just cutting expenses, you're probably not getting ahead, especially during times of inflation, right? You've got to do something to create more income at the same time. So again, whatever that side hustle is, for us, it was real estate. And I love the side hustle of real estate because while you're building extra income, you're also building equity and wealth at the same time, which is why we love real estate, right? But to your point, I mean, you could be just out of school, house hack a 4 unit to live below your means, and then, have that equity building up. And then you could be, selling on an Etsy shop. Or I love that you mentioned video games. Like I have a 14-year-old who sells NFTs and creates video games and wants to make
Yeah.
money that way. So I'm like, make money at whatever you're passionate about. And I think you basically alluded to that. So, for some people, you're not passionate about real estate. Use real estate as a
Yeah.
tool. Do
Mhm.
what you're passionate about to become that expert that creates more income, and then start investing that income into something that you know and understand. So I like your number two because it really does require becoming an expert at something, especially when you're dealing with an economy that has cycles and that's shifting rapidly. You have to be able to understand something before you can really invest it and have the confidence that that investment is going to grow over that long period of time that you're talking about. For time to be on your side, you have to know, how do shifts in the economy over the long term and the short term impact your ability to keep your expenses of that investment low and keep your income of that investment high. And so, to your 3 steps, I would also say become a student of the economy and understand, as you're becoming an expert in your thing, whether that's real estate, the stock market, whatever it may be, become an expert at understanding what are the components of profitability in that investment, and how do factors in the economy impact to either help you or hurt you in that investment, as you become an expert and kind of double down. So you want to be laser focused and not have squirrel syndrome. It's like putting the horse blinders on and saying, like you did, I got a buy box. I'm going to focus here for a while before I even think of something else. But if you see that the economy is obliterating the thing that you're in, diversification is important too, right? So I had some wisdom given to me that I really appreciated was make your main thing your main thing. The thing that depends on you to create income or that investment return, be an expert at that and focus on that. And then if you want to diversify with the best of the best in each of those other niches to kind of give you a little bit of balance, but don't try to become an expert at everything, right? Don't become the expert at the same time in storage and retail and office and multifamily and single family and oil and gas. You can't. So focus on your one thing, diversify, for passive returns into other things. And I think that that's really, really important. And then to your third point, time. It just takes time. Sometimes it's a shorter amount of time. If the economy is giving us a massive growth cycle, we might be able to look like rock stars and we create pretty good wealth pretty quickly. But if we're starting at a time when the economy's tougher, it could take a little bit longer. And that's okay. You just have to keep playing the long game, understanding this is not a get rich quick scheme to create wealth. It usually takes a lot of time for everybody, especially if you're starting with nothing. So be patient, play the long game, specialize, live below your means while you work to expand your means. I think that wraps everything up pretty perfectly, Michael.
I love it. Again, for me, when I look at where people break down, right? People in step one, you can't, or most people can't out earn bad spending habits.
Right.
People will expand their living standards to match their income. And I say that as someone that did that for a decade.
Right.
Step two, I can't tell you how many people I meet that want to be they're interested in real estate and stocks and this and that. Pick one. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be real estate. If real estate doesn't
Right.
light your fire, pick something else. Become elite and ignore everything else. It for a long time. And then
Right.
the third one, it's a decade. You can become wealthy in a decade, but the whole idea of this is don't over leverage, don't bust out, right? You and I have talked about Airbnb as an example. We're starting to see people in Austin, Texas, and other markets who bought in the wrong locations, overpaid because of 2020 and 2021 occupancies, and now they're alligators. And they're like, "What do I do?" Well, you bought the wrong thing, you gambled, you didn't do the work. You got to be able to hold them for a decade. You got to survive. That's why cash flow day one, 30-year fixed rate debt, all the things we talk about. But if you do the right things up front and hold the decade, getting wealthy is almost just a natural outcome.
Absolutely. And honestly, especially if you're starting at the bottom of a cycle and we're heading toward the bottom of a cycle, right? So when you're starting with values that are depressed and you get in at that time when everyone else is afraid and running away, history shows us we're going to have several years of, recovery, and then we're going to have probably 5, 6, 7, 8 years of, an increasing, expanding economy where asset values go up. So if you're starting at the bottom of a decade to get really serious about this stuff, like you as a listener are just really getting started, this is
Yeah.
a great time to get started and let time be your friend. And, for me, most of my wealth was created after 2008, 2009, because I was buying properties really cheap compared to what they had been, and just riding that wave up and doing deals consistently over and over again. Also with low interest rates, because typically once you're at the bottom and that recession happens, rates will drop to boost the economy. So you've got low rates, you've got a time period, 7, 8, 10 years, it's going to allow you, increasing value. And that's where real wealth is created. So this is a great time to get started, and expect a decade. I had moments, Michael, where I wanted to give up because
Yes.
'08 was hard, '09, 10, 11, they were hard.
Yes,
Lots
they
of
were.
deals, but no credit, no financing. Like I couldn't figure it out till I learned creative financing. So if there was a fourth thing, I would say get really creative on using other people's money, whether
I
that's
like it.
banks, whether it's the seller financing, whether it's private money, hard money. Get creative and look for other people's money to be able to start to grow when you don't have anything. And when you add those things together, you will be successful. Don't quit when it's hard year 2 or year 3 and think this doesn't work.
Yeah.
I thought I would have created wealth in 2 or 3 years, because what happened in the few years before that? Everybody was making money,
Yeah.
and it seemed
Yay.
like nobody could lose, and then boom. And I'm so thankful I didn't give up, because it really wasn't until years 8, 9, and 10 that it was like, whoa, I've really created wealth, and this thing is working, and it's really going well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Very cool. And I know you got to go. Where can people find you?
Great. You can find me on social media, Anna Kelly, REI Mom, my website, reimom.com, and every Wednesday with you.
Yay. Thank you, Anna.